Hello, my name is Livi. Today, I'm going to talk to you about climate change. Now, here's the thing. Some people believe it's happening, and some people don't. Where's the uncertainty coming from? The real question is not so much whether it's happening or whether it's not, because it's happening. But the question more is it of great concern, and is it human-caused? Climate change, or global warming, is presented in the United States as if it's an equal debate. In one corner, we've got people who think it's happening, it's human-caused, it's our fault, and we've got to do something ASAP. In the other corner are people who say, calm down, global warming is a myth. We don't take our money just so we can fix something that isn't a problem. And then there are people who fall in the middle who just say, I don't know, I don't want to make anyone mad. Maybe they're right, maybe they're right. I don't really know. So let's take a look at the data. No, not scientific gobbledygook. Let's just see how the American public feels about climate change. A poll done by Yale University in April 2014 shows that 64% of Americans believe that climate change is even happening, while 19% of Americans believe that climate change isn't happening. When the question becomes whether or not global warming is happening and is human-caused, the numbers change a lot. 44% of Americans believe that climate change is happening and it is human-caused, while 56% of Americans say no or are unsure. But let's not just take popular opinion for a fact. I mean, come on, there was once a time when popular opinion was that the Earth was flat. So let's just throw that one out. I mean, but it makes sense, right? Americans are split because scientists are split over the issue, right? I mean, it's all just one big question mark anyway. Wrong! Actually, 97% of climate scientists say yes, climate change is happening and it is human-caused. 97%! That ain't nothing to trifle around with. These aren't just biologists or people from the Spaghetti Monster God Club. These are climate scientists. This is what they do. Come on, I mean, why should we trust scientists? I mean, scientists also believed the world was flat, so what do scientists know anyway? I mean, okay, fair question, sure. Let's see what American politicians think. Our decision makers, right? They should be the one to see through all the nuances in order to make the right decision. Let's take a look at some clips from the September 2014 hearing on Obama's climate action plan in the United States House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. This was an exchange between Representative Larry Bouchon from Indiana and John Holdren, the president's science advisor.
It's not about affecting the global temperature and climate change. There's public comments out there that question has been asked and answered saying no.
You should look at the scientific literature rather than the public comments.
Wait, did he just argue science with popular opinion? Yeah, but okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just slipped up. Let's give another representative an opportunity to argue with science against a climate scientist. After all, it is a scientific debate. Let's hear from Representative Steve Stockman.
How long will it take for the sea level to rise 2 feet? I mean, think about it. If your ice cube melts in your glass, it doesn't overflow. It's displacement. I mean, this is some of the things that they're talking about mathematically and scientifically don't make sense.
Okay, that's not how it works. Does our House Committee on Science understand science? So our politicians seem not to be able to guide the way for us to argue against climate change scientifically with scientists. I mean, it's not their job. They're politicians. They're not scientists. Come on. But if they don't know the science, why else would they be so hell-bent that climate change isn't happening? Back to Larry Bouchon for some insight. Look, Larry. Larry, are you there? Larry.
Of all the climatologists whose career depends on the climate changing to keep themselves publishing articles, yes, I could read that, but I don't believe it.
So our friend Larry kindly points out that climate change is conveniently keeping climate scientists in business. You know, that could be a good point. You never really know these days who's more influenced by money than they are by just making the right decision. since he's so interested in the potential corrupting influence of money, let's take a look at where Bouchon's own funding comes from. The top sponsors over Bouchon's career have been Peabody and Koch Enterprises, and Murray Energy was a top provider for him during the 2013-2014 campaign. If y'all didn't know, Peabody and Koch Enterprises, and probably Murray Energy too, are really, really interested in making sure that climate change isn't happening, because they sell oil and energy, and they still want people to buy their oil and their energy to contribute to climate change. It almost looks like it's in Bouchon's own best interest to refute climate change rather than throw the corporations that give him money under the bus. That, my friends, is what corruption looks like. You might think that money is irrelevant to our discussion on climate change. I mean, money can't change what the Earth is doing. Please stop, let's give you money! Climate change, don't care. However, money can change what people say the Earth is doing. Climate change, don't care. Please, say anything to make us look good, we'll give you money! Nothing to see here, folks, nothing to see. That's not fair. Who would do that? And why? Consider these scenarios. Climate change. Don't care. Oh no! This has to stop! Quick, everyone! Shut down all the oil plants! Okay, we'll do that! I'm not so hot anymore. I feel pleasantly refreshed. But where's our money? Now consider this scenario. Climate change. Don't care. There's nothing going on. Just keep pumping oil, guys. You're doing good. She's fine. She's fine. But I'm really, 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 really hot. But that's not all. There's actually money to be made by even hanging out with people and participating in groups who further the idea that climate change isn't happening. And you know who they get paid by? Big oil, baby. Big oil. These are some of the same people who got paid by tobacco companies to tell you that smoking wasn't bad for your health. The explicit goal of the anti-global warming campaign was, let's create doubt, create a sense of a balanced debate, and to make sure that these lines of skepticism and dissent become routinely a part of the public discussion about climate science. I would say they've succeeded their goal. There's also this guy named Fred Singer, who's the founder of some science policy foundation project something, and he says that 97% of climate scientists are deluded. This guy also got a petition signed by 31,000 people who say that climate change isn't happening, but you know what? And you know, he says 31,000 scientists have signed this thing. It's called the Oregon Petition. They all have bachelor degrees in science, and 31,000 people is about half the size of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Singer openly says about the people who signed the petition, look, they're not specialists in climate change. And he's the guy who's the front of the climate change isn't real movement. He's an idiot. He uses crap for facts. In case you haven't gotten it yet, the people calling bullshit are bullshitting you. It's classic. They tell you exactly what they're doing but blame you for it so that you think they're not doing it. It's like capture the flag. Hey, that kid cheated. No, I didn't. What? No, you did. You stepped over live like 7 times and I almost tagged you. No, I almost tagged you, but it's fine. We're playing the game. No, I'm telling the counselor and you. I have 10-year-old campers who know how to play the blame game. The long arms of big oil have reached your politicians who don't want to say no to them because they're either getting money from them or they don't want to take a stance on a controversial issue. And the arms of big oil are reaching out to you so that you buy the lie and so that you don't fight to change the status quo. Okay, that got really emotional for a second, but here, listen. Here's the deal. Here's what's going on with climate change that 97% of climate scientists agree with. You've heard of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases trap the sun's heat and make the earth warmer, like a blanket. The earth can absorb what the earth naturally produces, but human activity causes an increase in greenhouse gases that the earth isn't fit to absorb. So the overall temperature of the earth is increasing, but the effects of that are felt differently around the globe. Some regions will get warmer while others get colder, and some will have floods while some will have droughts. That's why we can be having some of the most hellish winters here in Wisconsin, and climate change is still happening. Wolf friend's okay with it though. Already we've seen that this decade is the hottest decade on record, and the 2000s before that, and the 90s before that, and the 80s before that. And yes, ice sheets are melting. When land ice melts, ice that is usually on land flows into the ocean levels will rise. This puts major U.S. cities like New York City, New Orleans, and Miami at high risk. We're already past the point of being able to entirely reverse the effects of climate change. However, the decisions we make now can dramatically impact the degree of risk that we and our offspring will face for the coming decades and centuries. There is hope! But we must decide to act sooner than later, and we must act on a unified front. This is not just an American problem. This is a global problem. And really, it's an exciting opportunity to work together. We have the opportunity to elect people who will act on behalf of climate change, and we have the opportunities to make our voices heard. Climate change is a real issue that needs immediate attention, and that begins with debunking those who say it's a non-issue. This is a beautiful opportunity we have to work with people across the globe to save the Earth. And even if you don't think you care about the Earth very much, you have a really big vested interest in this because your food is going to be different, your living situations are going to be different, your houses might be flooded. Like, there's a lot going on here, even if you don't like being out in the woods. So let's move forward for the betterment of our collective future. For more information, take a look at the resources I used. They were really helpful and really reputable in case you're not liking what I have to say. Thanks everyone, it's been real. Now that I'm done, let's draw attention to my backdrop. Look at this grand wolf. You think that he's alone, but wait. They travel in two. He's got a friend. She's got a friend. They have one another. Did you know that wolves mate for life? Look at the woods. This is great. We could be lost in those woods right now. Except it's hell in Wisconsin.